Hello, my art-loving friends. On April 15th of this year, 2024, I went on a permanent art supply no-buy. I've received many questions since then, and I put a community post out there for all the questions to be gathered in one place, and in this video, I'll be answering all of those questions. Before we get into the specific questions, the reason I started the no-buy was because I had a lot of art supplies and I wasn't giving them the love and attention they deserved. At least that's how I felt at the time. I noticed some of my art supplies were starting to go bad, and I don't want that to happen. Also, I'm only one person, and only one person can use up so many art supplies in their lifetime. When I first mentioned the video, I did answer some questions. One of the biggest being, if I run out of something, can I replace it? And the answer is yes, with some exceptions, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. Let's get into the questions. Diana Howard asks, do you think you'll miss the joy and excitement you get from trying new products, brands, and colors? I would have said yes, but one of the follow-up questions is, will you still accept product promotions, free products basically, from companies to try out? And the answer to that one is yes. And it's kind of ironic, I probably should talk about this later in the video, but I'll do it right now instead, is I hadn't had a lot of companies ask me to review their products, and then suddenly I went on this no-buy, and I have so many companies offering to send me stuff, which is so ironic, isn't it? Because I decided to go ahead and accept some specific products from specific companies, I have a lot of new products to still try. So it's keeping me happy, it's keeping me busy, but it's also making me think that at some point I'm going to have to say no to some of them, even the ones that I really like, because it's still the same problem. Too many products and too many to use up in one lifetime and give a lot of thought and energy into, and to know what I actually love, because if I'm always trying something new, it's hard to find my favorites. She also asks, once you've gone through and made videos for all the items you recently purchased and showed in videos, what do you see your videos looking like? Creating paintings, teaching art theories? So I have so many products that I've bought in recent art hauls and lots of past art hauls that I still haven't gotten to. It'll be over a year and a half before I even get through those products. So I have a lot of time to think about it, but I do have lists of ideas, huge lists of ideas that I started when I very first started my channel in 2019, and I haven't even gotten through a fraction of that list. So I won't run out of really good video ideas for a very long time, so I probably don't have to think about it for another 4 years or so. Her last question is, will you still accept gifts from friends, family, and companies? The answer is yes. I have an Amazon wish list, and a couple of family members do buy for me on my birthday and Christmas from that list. So I have a couple of paints I've already put on there, and yes, I absolutely will still accept gifts, because this isn't supposed to be a torture fest. It was just trying to be concentrated effort to use and love and get to know really well what I already have. And she goes on to give a very sweet compliment. Thank you, Diana. All right, Tribal Style 138. Not a question, but a thought. I think no-buys are best for us, not you YouTubers, served by low-buys. Otherwise, it's too close to dieting. Yes. But also, we should trade more. Make each other dot cards, split up pen and pencil packs, split up brush packs. I think I'm going to use that dagger, and I just continue using rounds, and the rest I do acrylic. Yeah, I know what you mean. We get stuck in the ruts of our favorite brushes, our favorite paints, and so on and so forth. But that is a great thought. I agree. Doing some art supply exchanges would be really fun. Okay, Katarina asks, why do you do it? Well, I think I've answered that already, so we're good on that one. Her next question is, how long have you made it? And I'm recording this on June 26th or 27th. I can't remember the date. Let me look. June 26th. So I've made it this far so far, which is great. And also because of the companies sending me products that I have told you about, I think I'm going to make it a long time. And not just the company sending me stuff. I've had some really sweet friends out there, my YouTube friends, send me stuff too. And you'll be seeing that, or you may have already seen it come up in videos. And that just keeps me going, keeps me happy, and I'm so grateful. How many paints did you use up in this time? So I am keeping track of everything I use every time I play with art supplies, anything I use up. What else? Oh, notes on products I use. So like if I like them, hate them, what I think of them. So that's been kind of interesting. And so far I have used up, I think 5 or 6 tubes of core watercolor paint. Used up being loosely because I squeezed all the tube out into a full pan. So the tubes were empty and tossed, but I still have the full pan of paint. So that's all I've used up so far. Her last question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to do a no-buy or a low-buy? You really need to have a solid reason why. If your reason is just kind of loosey-goosey, you'll find all kinds of excuses to break your no-buy. Also, to make sure it's not a torture fest. Like, if you run out of your favorite yellow, is it really worth not buying that favorite yellow? I don't know. I think you should buy it. So you need to have some ground rules. And when I run out of a yellow, I know I keep using yellow as an example. I'm so sorry if you keep watching my videos and you're rolling your eyes again, use of a yellow example, but I have a lot of other beautiful yellows. I'm going to try and go through all of those first. But if I run into a yellow that I just don't like using it, guess what? I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to torture myself. Art is my joyful space. It's my fun place. So I'm not going to make it miserable. And neither should you. Difficult.e. What recommendations do you have before you start a no-buy journey? I think we covered that in the last one. Also, I might add though, do take an inventory, whether that's mental or actually writing it down. If there is something you're going to need before your no-buy, like if you have this much white acrylic paint and you're an acrylic painter, you might want to buy some white acrylic paint. But the rule I have is if I run out of all my white acrylic paint, I can buy another tube, because I said this is not a torture fest. This is just to try and get my supplies used and loved. What if a friend or family member wants to buy you a gift? Do you decline or accept? Accept. We've talked about it. Jessie G, are you avoiding being a hoarder? Kind of, yeah. Kind of. I don't want all these things sitting around that I don't use. If something happens to me, I want my kids to only deal with the supplies that I have loved. I think that's important. So kind of. Are you just wanting to use up what you have and not be wasteful? Yeah, that too. I'm sure I have alcohol markers over there, acrylic markers over there, permanent markers over there. I'm pointing over there because my marker bins are over there, that are probably drying up because I never get to them. Although I do kind of love and use my acrylic markers, so that probably wasn't the best example, but some of the others, not so much. Jessica, why did you feel the need to just buy everything at once, knowing there will always be something new coming out? I believe she's talking about my massive art haul and the video also where I bought everything on my wish list, because I knew my permanent no-buy was coming, and I got kind of that panic feeling like, oh no, but what if I want this, or what if I need this? So that's why I kind of made an inventory and picked up a bunch of colors I wanted. I don't know, you guys can watch those previous videos, I'll link them, and decide if maybe you know why I did it. I'm not sure, but I think I just didn't want to want something desperately and not be able to get it, because I'm staying accountable to you guys and to myself for this no-buy. But there is one thing I regret not getting, except not so much because Christmas, which is my birthday, is going to be here before I know it, and that is Core's Olive Green. I left a place for it in my Core palette though, so it's going to end up in my life one way or another eventually. All right, Kathy asks, how long do you think the supplies you have will last? Forever. Forever. I think my watercolor paper, I have such a huge supply of watercolor paper, I think it will probably last, I'm guessing 3 years before I run out of watercolor paper. I don't know. This is going to be fascinating finding out though. Then what? Do you accept products as gift and for review? So we talked about that. Yes, yes, yes. But if I run out of all my watercolor paper, guess what? It's time to buy more watercolor paper. And by then, I will know which watercolor paper I love, and that's the one I will buy. The Sleepless Spook. In your quest to not buy anything permanently, have you considered possibly making your own supplies like watercolor paint, oil pastels, paper, etc. when you need or want something, or just for fun? Right now, I don't have any interest in making my own supplies. That could change at any moment. But if I did, does buying supplies to this end, pigments, carrier oil, solvents, etc., count against your buy ban, or would you consider such things a separate investment that you won't avoid? I think it would count against my buy ban because it would be adding to my supplies because I'm creating new supplies. And a very sweet compliment also at the end of that. Thank you. Shadow Guard, is your permanent no-buy really forever, or is there a time limit? I'd like to say right now that it is semi-forever. But the next question is, if you actually run out of something, can you replace it? Yes. So this no-buy is more of a can't get new things no-buy. So if I run out of a supply that I need and use, I can buy it. Not really a no-buy question, but looking to buy a different brand of watercolor paints. Wondered if you were going to buy Core or Magello Mission Gold single pigment watercolor paints. Which would you buy? So this is kind of funny because right offhand I would say Core in a heartbeat, but you have to know and love Core because it moves a lot in water, and I do love that feature about it, but not a lot of people do. But when I was going through my watercolor database, I have like a whole selection of swatch sheets, and I was just flipping through them. I paused and stopped at almost every Magello Mission Gold watercolor because on those swatches, they just looked brilliant and beautiful. And they're more affordable than Core. Either one would be a winner in my opinion. Okay, so Amy P and Dirty 2 is very lovely long comment. So saying how she would be miserable if she couldn't buy things that she ran out of. Yeah, absolutely. Force herself to stop using one of her favorite colors. No way. I agree. I know. So, and I think I've gone through all of this. If I run out of something I absolutely need, I have to get it. So I think we addressed that. Awesome. Yes, you're going to buy more if you run out. Okay, the question is, are you creating art to express yourself or just review? If you're an artist, a no-buy will lead to no more art at some point. Yeah, I think we've addressed that point as well. The fact that it's not a torture fest, and my idea of the no-buy is so that I actually do create more art. With new stuff coming in all the time, I mean, you've seen it on my channel over the last few months, I have not been able to paint using any of my old already existing stuff because I'm still trying to get through the new stuff. So my goal is to really start to create artwork and paintings with these wonderful, beautiful supplies I already have. And I truly believe it will be years before I even have to replace something in my watercolor stash at least that I would absolutely need to create beautiful artwork. So I think this is going to allow me to create more artwork, not less. Well, that is all the questions that were in the community post. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this journey with me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Get the stick!
Good, Jack.
Oh,
Jack, get the stick.
Jack, get the stick. Wow, that's the wrong stick.
Good job.
Well, he got a stick. Oh, Jack, get the stick. Get the stick. Where's the stick? It's too big. He doesn't recognize it.
It's not a ball. Good boy. So good.
Bring it back to your human.
Yeah.
Or not.